If you want to defeat an opponent in a strategic conflict, you have to know what they want. When you truly understand a person's underlying desires, you can easily predict their behavior and anticipate their next move. But the Joker breaks this basic rule of engagement. You can't defeat someone who isn't trying to win. He doesn't want money, power, or victory in any traditional sense. He operates entirely outside those motivations. He is a pure nihilist. To him, the past, the present, and the future hold absolutely zero meaning. He craves nothing but chaos. This complete lack of motivation and chaotic nature is exactly what Christopher Nolan captured so perfectly in his depiction of the character. When an antagonist has no desired outcome to leverage against them, they become completely unpredictable and effectively tactically immune. When we witness completely abnormal, bizarre behavior, our instinct is to ask, how did they get this way? We immediately try to peek into their history. Our perception of the world is built on our early experiences. The kind of person you grow up to be and the way you process information relies heavily on your childhood. The Joker deliberately blocks that instinct. He refuses to let anyone look into his past, keeping his origins entirely shrouded in mystery. By erasing his own history, he creates a severe psychological tension. It leaves us with an itch we desperately want to scratch, just to make his madness make sense. When the 2019 film Joker was released, it promised to cure that tension. Audiences expected a clear explanation of how a man is pushed to this absolute extreme. To understand his collapse, we have to look at how humans define order and purpose. We derive personal meaning through foundational belief systems. When we cheer for our country in a stadium, it's because we implicitly believe in the spirit of the game and a collective identity. Arthur Fleck starts with his own grounded belief system. He genuinely believes his life has a purpose, to care for his ailing mother and to bring laughter and joy into the world. Then he discovers he was adopted and abused as a child while in her care. That revelation completely severs his connection to his mother, destroying the one purpose that anchored him. When you permanently strip away a person's foundational pillars, all faith in their belief systems decays. That loss of structure pushes the human mind directly out of an ordered reality and into the void. There is a massive psychological gap between experiencing personal hardship and facing systemic hopelessness. If you are suffering and you can see your own mistakes in that suffering, you retain the agency to correct your condition. You can change your perspective and fix the problem. But Arthur reaches a breaking point where he decides the entire world is wrong. Once the environment itself is viewed as the problem, any chance for personal recovery vanishes. You become completely hopeless. This realization marks the exact threshold of nihilism. Life stops being a personal tragedy that you can overcome and instead devolves into a meaningless comedy. Just as you finally understand the character's psychology, you run into a trap. You have to confront the unreliable narrator. Think back to The Dark Knight. Whenever the Joker describes his scars, he changes the story entirely based on his audience. He tells one victim his father took a knife to him, and later claims to someone else that he mutilated himself to please his wife. You can never be sure he is telling the truth. We have to apply that exact same unreliability to the 2019 film. Throughout the movie, several key scenes are explicitly revealed to be mere hallucinations. They only ever happened in his thoughts. This means the heartbreaking, tragic backstory we just watched unfold might not be a psychological truth at all. It might simply be another manipulated narrative trap. It leads to a fascinating theory. The entirety of the 2019 film could just be a simulation happening exclusively inside the Joker's mind. As a result, you walk out of the theater completely disoriented. You have no way of knowing which events actually occurred and which were totally made up. That lingering confusion is not a flaw in the storytelling. It is the precise, deliberate intention of the narrative. There is a real danger in giving the Joker a definitive past. By explaining his origins, you provide a rational reason for his madness. The moment you map out his trauma, he stops being an unpredictable force of nature. He becomes a highly predictable human being whose next step can be calculated. We actually shouldn't want to solve the mystery of his identity. Giving him an origin actively dilutes the very thing that makes him terrifying. His absolute lack of identity is his true superpower. Remaining an empty, undefined slate is exactly what secures his place as the ultimate embodiment of chaos.